Okay, so we're going to start with alternate nostril breathing today for our pranayama. I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm definitely feeling all that pollen in the air right now. And I know with pregnancy, you can get a little stuffier too. So I thought this would be nice to start with again today. So you're going to go ahead and take your right hand and then curl your first two fingers in, or you can place them on your third eye, whichever is more comfortable for you. And then you're going to cover your right nostril with your right thumb and take a nice deep breath in the left nostril. Then pinch with your ring finger and pause, and then exhale through the right nostril. Inhale right, pinch and pause, exhale left. Inhale left, pinch and pause, exhale right. Keep following your breath, your pace. And if you get confused, you just always breathe in the same nostril you breathe out of. Welcome, Melissa. We're just getting started with some alternate nostril breathing. So if you're following your pace, just keep going. I'm just going to talk through this one more time. So we're starting by pinching the right nostril and inhaling through the left. Then pinch and pause. Exhale right. Inhale right. Pinch and pause. Exhale left. Inhale left. Pinch and pause. Exhale right. So keep going at your pace. If you get lost, you can follow me. Or just remember you're always inhaling from the same nostril you just exhaled from. Working now on lengthening the breath, lengthening the inhales and the exhales. And seeing if you can notice the pause after the inhale and after the exhale. So we think of breathing in 4 parts: in, pause, out, pause. This alternate nostril breathing is really helpful for spring allergies or being stuffy from pregnancy. And it helps balance out the left and the right to give you some grounding. Just one more breath on each side. And the next time you exhale out of the right nostril, you can go ahead and drop your hands. Eyes can be closed or gaze soft, and just take some nice breaths in and out the nose. Noticing how your energy may have shifted just from sitting and breathing for a few minutes. And if your eyes are closed on an inhale, you can go ahead and open them. Great. So this is a technique that you can do anytime you're feeling stuffy. It also helps cool the body. So if you're feeling hot, it can be a nice thing to sit and do. And it kind of quiets down our mind and emotions. So all nice things that we can do for ourselves during pregnancy. Let's go ahead and start to flow. So on an inhale, arms rise, gaze rises. Exhale, twist to one side. And you're going to follow your breath here. So as you inhale, you'll come back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Keep on moving with your breath, going at a pace that feels good for you today. And especially in pregnancy, we don't need to force any of these twists. You might find they naturally get a little deeper as you move, but don't feel like you need to go gung-ho on it. Good, one more to each side. Great. Next time you inhale to center, go ahead and interlace the fingers, flip the palms, reach up. Now think about your tailbone dropping down. Sits bones are nice and heavy on whatever you're sitting on. Go ahead and look down as you start to pull those arms back. Good. Draw the shoulder blades down now onto your back. Go ahead and look up. And close the mouth so you can get a nice stretch through the front of the neck here. Great. One more inhale. And on an exhale, drop the arms, shake out the hands, shake out the arms, shake out the shoulders. Let the head go and shake it around too. Good. Okay, so go ahead and remove whatever you're sitting on. We'll start to warm up those hips. You can bring your feet about hip distance apart, leaning back on the hands really lightly. Go ahead and inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, letting the knees just drop to one side. So we're going to windshield wiper, inhaling through center, exhaling to the opposite side. So again, tapping into your own body here. What's the pace that feels good for you? You never need to be mimicking me. Just find what feels good and let your breath lead you.
Is it possible to change your view? Because right now I can only see you from like the mouth up.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh, are you seeing the big view or no?
No.
Oh, hang on.
Thank
Here
you.
we go. I
Much
am
better.
so sorry about
That's
that,
okay.
guys. Thank you for letting me know. All right. So we're going to keep windshield wipering here. Good. And the next time your knees fall to one side, just go ahead and hang out here, taking a nice deep breath into the hip. And if you want to go, if you want a little bit more of a stretch here, you can take the inside foot on top of that inside knee. If that feels tweaky at all, please don't do it. But that can be nice to start to get into some of those deep glute muscles there. Good. On your next breath, we'll take it to the other side. So inhaling up and over. And either hanging out here, or if you want that extra oomph, bringing that inside foot on top of the inside knee. And it's totally fine if you want to take that extra step on one side and not the other. We are definitely not symmetrical, especially during pregnancy. You might find there's more going on one side than the other. So I'm going to trust you to listen to your body and make accommodations for what feels good. Good. One more nice deep breath. Great. On your next inhale, go ahead and bring the knees up. We're going to turn into our tabletop. So for this, I recommend taking either your thin blanket or towel and placing it underneath the knees. We're going to be on the knees for a little bit here, and this is one of those modifications we like to make during prenatal yoga, is giving a little extra cushion. Great. So when you do find your table, you're going to make sure that your wrists are nicely underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. If your belly is getting bigger, you're always welcome to take your knees wider as well. And we're going to start to get into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, you're going to curl up through the chest, the head, and the neck. During pregnancy, we try not to arch more in the low back. There's plenty that gravity is doing to help you there already. And then exhale, we take that nice cat spine, arching. So follow your breath and your pace here as you start to get some articulation in the spine. And I always say that this does not have to be rigid. So it's nice to have a little bit of this flexion and extension. But as you're moving and listening to your body, you might want to take some snake spine. You might want to move your hips or your shoulders. Just move organically to open up your vertebrae here. Good. Next inhale, come to center. And we're going to prepare here. Just inhale deeply through the nose. And as you exhale, hug baby closer in. So we're going to start to wake up the core a bit here. So we hug baby with the whole core, everything in front and everything wrapping around the low back as well. Thinking about keeping that action on your next inhale, go ahead and curl the right toes on the ground, pressing into the heel. We're just going to give those hamstrings a little stretch first. And then next inhale, go ahead and lift that leg up, flexing nicely through that heel, keeping your spine nice and neutral, long neck, gazes towards the floor. If this feels easy and you want to take it further, go ahead and lift the left arm. Hugging baby in, reaching. One more nice inhale. And on an exhale, we're going to bring that down. Take a nice cat spine to reset everything. And then finding your neutral spine, we're going to take it to the other side. So start by curling those toes down on the mat, pressing into the heel. And making sure you're hugging baby in on an inhale, lifting that leg high, flexing through the foot. Really pressing that foot back towards the wall behind you. And then if you want that extra work, go ahead and lift that right arm, reaching forward. Nice, guys. One more inhale. As you exhale, take that down. Go ahead and take that cat spine. So we'll do another variation on that, finding your nice flat back. On an inhale, go ahead and lift that right foot, flexing through. If you want to lift the arm, go for it. Now we're going to take that right leg, reach it all the way off the left side of the mat, placing the toes down on the floor. So we're getting into those hip flexors here. If you press into the toes, you might feel the front of that hip fire up a little bit, and certainly the side of the hip as well. Now release the left arm rather to the ground and curl your head back so you can see those toes. Nice, starting to open up through the ribs and the hips. Next inhale, we'll bring that right foot back to center. Exhale, knee comes down, cat spine. On an inhale, finding your flat back again, we'll take it to the other side. Next inhale, we reach out with the left leg and right arm, hugging baby. And then we can cross that left leg all the way over the right side of the body, off the mat. Press into those toes. And deep breaths here to help open up all that connective tissue, that fascia, all through that left side. Next, exhale, releasing the arm down and then curling the spine, looking back, seeing if you can find your toes with your eyes. One more nice deep breath. And next inhale, go ahead and lift that leg to center. And then exhale, bring it down. I want you to take the knees as wide as the mat or even wider if you need it. And we'll take a nice child's pose. Really getting into those hips today. So let the head and the neck fall down to the mat. And if you want a little bit more of a shoulder stretch, reaching the hands out to 12 o'clock and seeing if you can get them close enough so the thumbs can touch. 3 deep breaths here, in through the nose, out through a soft, open mouth. 2 more at your pace. Good. Next inhale, we're going to come back up to table. So we're going to bring in some dynamic movement here. And I'll walk you guys through it this first time, so you may want to watch. Michaela, we've done this before, so you're welcome to join in if you're ready. But hands are going to come just a little bit forward. We're going to inhale, come forward, and then you have the choice. You can just stay here, or if you're ready for a little more core, you can come down into chaturanga. Inhale, back up. Exhale through child. Inhale, up on the knees. Exhale, thumbs and arms spin out, and we open through the chest, trying to keep that low back neutral. Inhale up, and then exhale, we come through child's, coming forward, and we start it again. So hop in at any time. I'm exhaling chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale, child. Inhale up, arms rise. Exhale, arms come back. Inhaling up. Exhale, coming forward again and coming down. So follow your breath and your pace. Depending on your mood today, you might be taking this super slow, or if you've got all that sweet second trimester energy, you can go double speed, whatever feels good. We're going to do it a couple more times. Nice, guys. Good. And the next time you come down through child, I want you to hang out there for another moment. We're just going to take 1 or 2 nice deep breaths, checking in with your body, checking in with your baby. And letting any tight thoughts or emotions go. Good. Next, inhale, come back to table. And we're going to find our first down dog today. So you can bring the palms a little farther forward, tucking the toes, lifting those hips, and walk that dog out, pedaling the feet. Yeah. You can wiggle the head and the shoulders if they feel tight. And then finding your way to stillness. We'll all bend our knees, press into the palms now, and lift those hips up and back, almost as if you can imagine someone pulling your hips back and up, 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 lengthening that spine. If you feel those shoulders coming forward, just see if you can pull those shoulder blades back onto the ribs. Good. 1 deep breath here. And then you're going to slowly lower those heels any amount. Knees don't need to be totally straight. Just keep that length in the spine as the legs start to expand. We're going to take 1 full breath here in the nose and out a soft mouth. Great. Next inhale, I want you to look forward and step your right foot on the outside of the right hand. Left knee can come down or stay up, totally up to you. Press through the left palm as you inhale, right arm high. And then if you want more of a shoulder opener, go ahead and wrap that arm around the low back. Deep breath here. Next inhale, arm rises. And as you exhale, bring that right hand on the inside of the foot and go ahead and lower that back knee if it was up. We're going to bring the elbows to the knees for a moment. Just take a breath. Make sure you feel nice and stable. And then inhale, arms rise. So check in here with your low back. See if you can drop those hips, working towards that neutral low back. So there's always a little bit of a curve, but we don't need to exacerbate that. And then we're going to lean forward in those hips until you feel that little nice stretch in the front of those hip flexors. This also is really nice with the round ligaments. And if you want more of an arch, start to arch right from your collarbones, from your sternum. You can go ahead and open up the arms, spinning the thumbs back, nice and broad through the heart and the lungs. Next inhale, we rise. Exhale, go ahead and bring the hands on the inside of that foot again. And now step that right knee back. Good. Little cat spine to even it out. And taking that to the other side, go ahead and find your down dog once more. This time we'll take 3 nice deep breaths. Again, in the nose, out a soft mouth. We work on softening our jaw, especially during pregnancy, because that can be so helpful in birthing time. There's this beautiful connection between a soft jaw and softening and opening of the cervix. After your breath feels complete on your next inhale, looking forward, stepping that left foot on the outside of the left hand, and that back knee can come down or stay up. Right arm, right hand stays put as you lift that left arm high. Nice open twist. And if you want that extra shoulder opener, wrapping the arm around the low back, twisting that heart even more towards the sky. Beautiful. Next inhale, we open our wings. Exhale, that left hand comes down on the inside of the foot and the right knee comes down. So you can bring the elbows to the knees just to make sure you're nice and stable before inhaling, arms all the way up. And with that nice neutral low back, go ahead and lean forward in the hips until you feel just that sweet opening in the front of that hip flexor. Thinking about adding some opening to the shoulders, we can go ahead and let the arms come down, arching sweetly through the chest, open through the collarbones. Coming back to breath. On your next inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands come on the inside of the foot. And this time I want you to take as many steps as you need to bring your right foot up to meet the left, at least hip distance apart, and let yourself hang. So knees are soft here. You can take your favorite hanging position. I'm grabbing my elbows. I love the extra weight that gives me. And just coming back to that breath. I like to think in this position that on my exhales, I can let all of my thoughts pour out of my head. Good. Now bending the knees a bit, bring the elbows to the knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. You can keep the elbows on the knees. And then next time you inhale with a flat back, go ahead and rise. Press through the feet, arms rise. Exhale, hands come through heart center, and we'll place a hand on the heart and a hand on baby, letting the eyes close. Release in the thighs. Release in the hips. Release in the belly. Just taking a moment here to feel how your body has shifted, how your mind and your emotions have shifted, and then tapping into that connection between your heart and baby's heart. Let this point of the day be just for you and your connection with your growing child. Good. On your next inhale, eyes will lightly open and we'll raise the arms. So we're going to step back now with the right foot coming into a warrior one. In pregnancy, we take a wider warrior, and as your belly grows, you can make it as wide as you like. So with that wide warrior, you can either keep the back heel up or place it down, whatever works for you and your body. Good. Now, just like we did on the floor, we're gonna let the arms come down, palms spin open. Check in with your low back, see if it's neutral. Hug baby in, that can help neutralize the low spine. And then we're gonna arch again from the top of the collarbones and the sternum. Good, let's bring in some movement here. So as we inhale, arms rise. As we exhale, we're gonna lean forward, flat back. Inhale, rise. So finding this nice little pendulum movement. There should be plenty of room for baby on the inside of the thighs. If you feel like it's squishy at all, go ahead and widen your stance. One more time. On your next inhale, arms rise, and we're gonna lower that back heel, spin out into our warrior two. So again, warrior two, nice and wide. We're not looking to have that straight line between the ankle and the inside of the foot. It's as wide as you need it to feel extra stable right now. Then we're gonna flip that front palm, reach forward, rainbow back, peaceful warrior. Inhaling again into two, taking a side angle, elbow comes to knee as we rainbow that top arm overhead, really reaching with the fingers and pressing into the mat with those back toes. Open, open, open. Good. Next inhale, we come back up, straighten that front leg. Now we're going to come into triangle. If you need a block, go ahead and grab one. And we're just going to reach forward as much as we can and then come on down, finding our triangle. So one difference with triangle and pregnancy is I recommend having your hand on something. It could be a block, it could be the floor, it could be your leg, but the dangling hand, it can be really unstable for us. So just place that hand somewhere nice and stationary. And from here, growing that triangle. So reaching that arm up, maybe leaning back and opening more in the collarbones, and tapping back into breath. One more breath. You guys are doing great. And then bending into that front knee on an inhale, finding your warrior two. We're going to parallel the feet now, coming wide on your mat. Good. Inhale, arms open. Now bring the heels in just a bit so you can exhale into goddess. Inhales open. Exhales goddess. Great. So once again, find your pace. And if you want to start adding in some pelvic floor work, this is a great place to do it. So we engage that pelvic floor by tightening the muscles that we normally release when we urinate or defecate. And then as you learn more about the pelvic floor, you learn that it's layer and layer and layer, basically creating a sling for all of the organs and the uterus at the base of the pelvis. Next inhale, go ahead and parallel the feet, open up wide, five-pointed star. Exhale, come to a nice wide leg forward fold. Let the head hang. Shoulders release. One more breath. Then bringing the heels in a little so you can bend those knees comfortably. Bring the elbows to the knees for a moment. Nice breath here. And press into the feet, inhaling, flat back rise. So we're going to get into those wide squats, and this is when we're really going to start to bring the pelvic floor in. So as I exhale, I'm going to bring my arms down and coming into that squat position. As I inhale, I'm going to pull up through the pelvic floor, through my core, all the way up through the crown. And then I exhale and I come back again. So inhale as I'm engaging that pelvic floor as I rise. Exhale as I'm releasing completely. So we're going to play with this in 2 ways. So you know that you have options. This is generally really nice if you need some energy. You can imagine that you're grabbing that energy from the earth, drawing it up through baby, through center, and then surrounding yourself with it again. One more. Good. Parallel the feet. Bring a hand to the heart, a hand to baby. And if you feel stable, let the eyes close. Finding that stillness, that pause. Knowing even when things get stressful, both during pregnancy and during birth, there's always a pause of relief. Look for that and lean into it. Next breath, opening the eyes lightly. Good. So we're going to take this another way. So go ahead and bringing those heels in a little bit again, about a 45-degree angle. This time we're going to inhale, rise. Exhale, bringing the energy down now back to the ground. Inhale, rise. And down. And the pelvic floor action is going to be different too. So we inhale and release. Exhale, engage that pelvic floor, pulling in and up. Releasing completely on the inhales, engaging on the exhales. So maybe with the pelvic floor, all you feel right now is that little bit of a squeeze if you were to stop yourself from peeing. Or maybe you're starting to tap into the layers and you can actually feel it like an elevator rising up, up, up towards the uterus. And then all the way back down to the perineum, ground floor. Really beautiful, guys. 2 more. Good. And when you feel complete, you can parallel the feet. Once again, bring a hand to the heart and a hand to baby. Don't miss this moment. Feeling your heart start to slow. Feeling all that sweet energy surging through the body. On your next inhale, letting eyes open. So we're going to turn in a way that you'll probably be facing away from the camera, but we're not going to do anything new here. We're going to come into Warrior 2, now over on the right-hand side. So that should be the opposite of what we were just doing. And so left leg is straight, right leg is bent. We're going to flip the palm, reach forward, rainbow back, peaceful warrior. Next, inhale, the right elbow comes down to the knee, left arm rainbows overhead, side angle. Really reaching from toes to fingertips. Good. Next, inhale back to warrior two. If you need a block for triangle, making sure you grab one, and then straightening both legs. We're going to reach forward as far as we can, and then bringing that right hand down to a block, the floor or your leg. Left arm is high. And finding the triangle that feels good on this side. So tap into your breath. Long inhales through the nose. Long exhales out a soft jaw. Can you feel that reach from your back toes up through your hip, up through your arm? And do you feel comfortable widening your collarbones a little bit more? One more breath. Next, inhale, bending into that right knee as you find your warrior two. Pivoting on the back foot, warrior one. You might need to widen your stance again here. And you're always welcome to put that back foot down if that feels better for you in warrior one. So checking into the low back, making sure those hips are heavy, low back is neutral. And then letting the arms spin out. And if you want to, finding that arch right from the sternum. We'll add in some movement. So inhale, arms rise. Exhale, flat back. Playing with this, going at the pace that feels good to you. And it's okay if good to you means super duper slow. And it's also okay if it's really fast. One more. Next, inhale, rise. Good. And as you exhale, hands are going to come down on either side of that front foot. And we're going to take as many steps as you need to bring the back foot to the front foot, at least hip width apart, and fold. Making sure the knees aren't locked here. They can be as bent as you need. Deep breaths. One more breath. And then with knees a little bent, bringing the elbows to the knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, a little round. And the next breath, pressing into the feet, inhaling, flat back, arms rise. Exhale, hands come through heart center. And we'll again bring a hand to the heart and a hand to baby, letting eyes close if you feel stable. Tapping back into that pause. What can you let go of here? Good. One more breath. Next inhale, eyes lightly open. So we're going to move down to the mat again. If you still have your towel or blanket on the mat, go ahead and move that aside. And come on down, bringing a block with you if it's handy. So we're going to set up for bridge. We're going to bring heels as close to the buttocks as possible. And then depending on the size of your belly, you may or may not want to use a block in between the legs. Basically use it if it feels good, and as long as it's not pressing on your belly, and that your hips feel good here. So tucking the shoulder blades underneath the back, nice long spine. On an inhale, press into the feet. Use the legs to lift up into bridge. So a lot of us think about just popping those hips up, especially in pregnancy. We don't need that extra strain. So really think that this is coming from your feet, not just from your core. Once you're here, you can take whatever arm position feels good to you. I really like robot arms personally, but some people like to interlace their fingers or even take their arms overhead. Just find what feels good. And this is not a competition, so you don't need to think about staying here for a long time. When you are done, just bring your hips back down to the mat. And when you are done and bring them back down, you can remove the block and just wiggle a little to loosen up through the hips. So for this second set of this, have the block handy, but not between the legs. We're going to press into the feet, lifting the hips, and now placing the block under your sacrum at a height that feels good. So you do have 3 choices. You've got your low, your medium, and your high. Just find what feels great. I like that medium today. And you should feel nice and stable here. This is a supported bridge. We're going to go into a supported shoulder stand. So as you're ready, you're going to lift one leg and then the other. This is one of those nice supportive inversions that is super safe and helpful during pregnancy. If you feel secure, let the eyes close, palms face up. Starting to release tension from the head, the face, the neck, and the shoulders. We did a good amount of work in the legs today, so this gives us a nice break where gravity can help bring the lymph down from our feet back to the lymph nodes in our groin. If you're at a point where you're experiencing any swelling in your feet, ankles, or legs, getting legs up like this or against a wall is so beneficial to help counteract that. And now, depending how you're feeling, you might want to just stay here and peacefully hang out with your legs straight up. Or if you feel like you still want some more movement, you can go ahead and play with your leg movement here. So you can widen the legs, you can do a little helicopter action. If you're still in first and beginning of second trimester and want to bicycle, go for it. But if you feel any strain at all in the rectus abdominis, those center ab muscles, then I would recommend not doing that. And the other one I really love is bringing feet together, taking a nice bound ankle. So just play with it. Tap into your body. How do you want to move today? And start to find your way back to stillness. Taking a moment to enjoy the pause before we move on. And as you're ready, on an exhale, you'll lower one leg and then the other. And with your feet firmly on the mat, you can press into the feet, lifting the hips, removing that block. And then with one hand per knee, go ahead and hug those knees in nice and wide. A little rock side to side for your low back and your hips. If there are any additional poses that you feel your body needs, go ahead and take them now. And we're going to move towards setting up for Shavasana. So feel free to keep flowing. I'm going to talk through setting up for a reclined Shavasana. You're always welcome to take Shavasana on your side. That's safe in all stages of pregnancy. And I just recommend having as many props as possible to make you feel nice and cozy. If you do want to try a reclined Shavasana, that's also safe through all stages of pregnancy. I use a yoga block and I like it at the medium height, but you can choose a height that you prefer. Then I'm going to take my bolster or a firm pillow and I'm going to prop it up on the end of that block to make a nice triangle shape. I'm going to take my other, oh, we've got a kid joining us. Hello. You can take your other bolster and place it under where your knees would go. And if you are feeling chilly at all, or if you get chilly during Shavasana, as many of us do, though not always during pregnancy, this is where you can break out that thick blanket and make yourself nice and cozy. And Melissa, I know that taking Shavasana with a toddler in the room can be tough, so hopefully you get a little bit of peace. So finding that position that feels nice and supportive for you today. And then when you do find that perfect place, giving your body permission to completely release down. And I'll walk you through relaxation for the body. Letting the head release completely. Letting go of any tight thoughts. Smoothing the wrinkles in the forehead. Letting all emotion fall from the face. Eyes float in their sockets. Teeth separate as the jaw releases and the tongue floats in the mouth. Releasing the muscles at the base of the skull and releasing the muscles all down the neck. Letting the throat be soft. Allowing the shoulders to release down. Letting go from shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, down through the hands and the fingers. Softening in the upper back, releasing through the chest, the heart, and the lungs. Softening in the mid back, releasing any anxiety or emotion stored in the solar plexus, releasing in the sternum and the ribs. Letting go in the low back, through the hips and the sideways. And letting the belly be nice and soft. Plenty of space for baby to move and grow. Releasing through the low back and the hips, the pelvis, the pelvic floor. Releasing the legs down through the thighs, the knees, the calves and the shins, the ankles, releasing the whole foot and every toe. Surrender the whole body here, reminding yourself, my body and my baby are healthy and strong. My body and my baby are healthy and strong. My body and my baby are healthy and strong. Let go. Beginning to deepen the breath in the nose, out the mouth, feeling baby rise and fall with your breath. Inviting movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Enjoying a full body stretch. And taking all the time you need to find your seat today. Making sure to hug baby in as you sit up. If it's easy to do, propping your hips up on a block or a pillow. Good. And we'll bring a hand to the heart and a hand to baby. Checking back in. Feeling that connection. Maybe you can feel it physically if Shavasana woke baby up and they're moving around. Or maybe just feeling that energetic connection between your bodies. And notice if there's anything that you'd like to let go of, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. And I invite you to let it go with breath. So as you're ready, we'll take a deep inhale together through the nose. Let it go. Bringing hands to heart center, lightly bow the head. And we always give thanks first to ourselves for taking time to be here and care for ourselves and making this space for ourselves really allows us to be more present and loving to those in our lives. And we thank our baby for practicing with us, knowing that as we care for our body, we're caring for their growing body as well. And lifting the gaze, we thank each other with a namaste. Namaste.